Hey YouTube, Mark Kaufman here, and today I'm going to be restoring and reviewing the Luna gentleman's knife. I actually have done a little bit of research, and you could probably barely even call it that because I am not really able to find a lot of information on this company. When I look it up in Google or any other search engine, you really cannot find any history or any references to this company. It probably was a very small maker in Italy, but they had quite a few different makes and models of knives that incorporated tape measures in the handle, built-in tweezers that would come out of the handle, scissors that were situated in very interesting situations within the handle that was very useful. And they had quite a few innovative designs. I mean, I was very impressed, but I could not find any information on the company itself or how old this knife model was. Now, my guess is this is probably a knife from, I would probably say, the 1940s or 1950s. I guessed originally when I got the knife that it may have been from the 30s, but I don't think it's that old. The construction of it and the manufacturing of it is not really representative of the 1930s and is a little more representative of what knives were being produced during the 1940s and 50s. So that is where I'm guessing this lands, but let's go and take a look at this and how it looked before I even began the work on it. And that is actually going to be a clip from the prior video that I actually showed when I received the knife. So here is that clip. So yeah, the knife looked a little rough and had a few problems, but I am going to make it look a lot better. So let's get into the restoration. And here it is completed. I actually didn't film all of the steps that I did in the restoration of this knife, just primarily because it would have been probably a 30-minute video, and I really had to trim down a lot of the work that I did on this. But I think it came out really, really good. The nail file tip on this actually came out very, very good. Originally, I wanted to actually go with a polished look to this, but the finish marks on it actually gave me more of a hint of that this whole thing had a satin finish to it. So what I did is I went with its original finish and gave this a satin finish. Now the nail pick is definitely sharper, a little more what am I trying to say here? It's a little more complete, but it's also straight. So you can see that there's no bend. I was able to get that bend out. I also filed it down a little bit just to get a little more shape out of it. And I think it came out really, really nice. Now, on to the part of the blade that a lot of people, or actually part of the knife that a lot of people care about, and that is the blade. And the blade came out great. It's got a little bit of oil on it. It's kind of hard to get all that oil off. Let me see here. There we go. I think I got it. So there we go. That is the blade. Looks good. Polished up nicely. And you can see the Luna Tang stamp there. And barely can make out Italy there. But this company, I really couldn't find any info on. So if you do know anything about it, let me know in the comments. And the snap has somewhat returned to this. The blade actually doesn't really have a snap, but all the other tools do. The fingernail tool doesn't have a real good snap back, but boy, when it closes, it has a really good snap. Now, the other thing I did is I gave the whole handle a satin finish, and then I also gave the nail nick here a slight upward satin finish. But I refinished the handle. Feel it looks a lot better. The pins, I actually tightened up the pins a little bit, and I didn't show that, but some of the parts of this knife were a little loose, so I tightened that up. Now onto the scissors, which is probably the part that needed the most work, but I installed a Victorinox 58mm spring in here, and it works just fine. The spring tension is okay, but you don't need a lot for such a small set of scissors like this, but I will say they cut just fine. So this knife is back up and running, and let's hear this snap real quick. Really nice action on this whole thing. And I haven't really found a lot of knives by this company that actually look like this one. I actually only found one other picture on Google of this knife, and I really don't know what this is worth. I may sell it, but I may just end up carrying it. I think it's going to be such a nice little carry that it would be very hard to sell this. And if I had to sell it, I mean, it's not really worth that much. You would think a knife of this quality and of this construction would be worth a little bit more. But unfortunately, I don't really know a lot about this company. There's just not a lot out there. So really quick, let's do a size comparison since I am reviewing this. And what can I compare this to? I'll compare it to a 85mm Commander. And let's compare it to a 91mm Camper. And you can see there, yes, it's a little bit smaller than these two knives. And I would actually place this probably within the size of a 74mm Swiss Army knife. It really is a nice compact knife, really, really thin. I mean, this thing, really quick, let me measure this. This thing is coming out to be 6.3mm thick. The length on it is 74mm. So right on the money in comparison to the size of a 74mm Victorinox. This thing is really, really nice. I'm very happy with it, and I'm really happy in how it came out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this really quick video. Tried to make it quick, but unfortunately, I just don't know a lot about the company. If any of you know about Luna, knives, I'd love a history dump in the comments section. So till the next one, I'll talk to you guys later.